This is Perception of Wealth. Welcome to Perception of Wealth. In the news right now, KTM, there's possible talks of a bankruptcy, but the actual thing is financial trouble. They're asking for some bridge financing. They say over 100 million euros, which is a lot of money for a motorcycle company. Uh, this was not from the issue with their 890 engine. What happened with the 890? Con rods were going through the engine. They were they were taking the SpaceX route, right through the engine. But no, more importantly, what happened was 300 bikes were affected. The bikes were selling real well. They made a lot of these motorcycles, not bikes. And what happened was they couldn't keep up with production with the source from their metal company. They went to another company, got some more metal. That metal wasn't good, and up putting con rods into space. But moving on past that, what's going on right now is KTM is in financial trouble. They did not make their sales. Um, Mobility AG and obviously Bajaj Auto is a Indian company, is pretty large. It says they were going through a lot of problems. One of the issues was back 2019 when the thing happened, pandemic. Hopefully that won't get me demonetized. Electric bikes were selling bikes, or electric motorcycles. So KTM went all in, made kids bikes, adults bikes, and it did, all that investment into those and those electric bikes, and they put a lot of money in there, and it didn't do what they were supposed to do. And so now they got all this technology, and that's an issue. They put a lot of money into that, and the R&D probably cost a lot of money. And instead of focusing on motorcycles and probably putting out new advertising and everything else, they went electric, and that did not do great. They also spent money on their Expo, but their Expo does good and it sells well. It's a car they make. Most people, if you're watching this because of financing, then you don't know they make an Expo, and the Expo is actually pretty dope looking. I wouldn't mind owning one. Oh, sorry, I think I just hit the mic. I wouldn't mind owning this GTXR right here. Obviously, this is the track version, ultimate track weapon, but you can buy that too, and this one's for the street. And the canopy pops up. It's like a little fighter jet. It's a fighter jet for the people. But anyways, check it out at KTM. See, there we go. You see how that canopy opens up. But back to the motorcycles. They're in financial trouble, so they're asking for a bridge loan just to get them through this difficult time right now. But I don't think they're going to be sold or a bankruptcy. The reason being is KTM, the Pierre Mobility AG, which I don't think I'm pronouncing that. Yeah, it's Pure or Pierre Mobility AG. I don't think I'm pronouncing it right. Will not get rid of KTM. They already started laying off over 250 people. They're not producing any more motorcycles right now. I think they're taking the route of Harley. Actually, they're going one a little smarter. They're immediately gonna just sell the motorcycles that are at the dealers. Um, and because I think Harley first started laying off, then they reduced some production, then they laid off, and then they stopped production, and then they're like, okay, we gotta sell what's at the dealerships, all the motorcycles at the dealerships. KTM is like, we're laying off over 200 people, we're stopping production, sell what's at the dealerships. So they're just going straight for it. Um, And the other reason why I don't think they're going to get sold off is because KTM, which they also produce motocross bikes, is a owner in Husqvarna, and the Husqvarnas are basically KTM's. Well, the Smart Pillin and the Spit Pillin are basically are KTM's, and then on top of that, KTM also owns Gas, and those are also just red KTM's basically. It's a little vague, it's a little like but that's what it is. So KTM can't be sold off because of all the stuff they own. And so I think this is just temporary. I don't think they're going to get rid of KTM. And I think, and they're part owners of the gas, but they also handle the warranty or the parts for MV Agusta motorcycles. So I don't think they're going to get sold off. I don't think the bankruptcy is going to happen. Even their government might step in because it's too big of, it's like one of those things that we're coming back to, too big to fail, because if it fails, all these other companies are going to fail. And then if other companies are going to fail, other governments are going to step in. And then, then that's going to affect the dealership network. And if all those companies fail, more people are going to lose jobs. So they'll get their bridge loan. I don't know who's going to buy in, probably maybe another financial firm, because Punjab, I cannot pronounce their name, but the other owner, Bajaj Auto and Pierre Motor Mobility, the Bajaj, they're so massive they don't have like a top tier motorcycle yet. But if they were to buy, if they got the financing to buy KTM or own some more, that could probably work. But I don't think they're gonna buy them, because in India, to buy a Super Duke, the top end, the Super Dukes, that you can probably buy a very good car in India. And yes, they like their motorcycles, and they like their small capacity, low CC, scooter slash motorcycles, and they like their smaller bikes. But and yes, some people might buy a Super Duke, but don't forget those people actually have money. In India, to buy a Super Duke is like you're looking at maybe buying a small apartment somewhere. That's, someone that can buy a Super Duke in India, they have some money. They probably own a car and own a small house or a nice apartment. Now, granted, some people are like, oh, well, some people pull they own a Bugatti and they live in a trailer park type thing. Some people might own a Super Duke and they live on the ground floor and they park the Super Duke in their apartment that they live with their mother in India. You know what I'm saying? That is a possibility, but they don't have the sales. Like, if they can purchase, I'm not saying they can't purchase KTM, but uh, uh, Bajaj, if they purchase KTM, you know, they could make the mistake of trying to sell, their own line of Super Dukes as their own vehicles, and it would be like a mistake with the electric motorcycles. KTM went hard into the electric motorcycles, and now look at them. That cost him probably that $100 million we're looking at that they were talking about for the bridge loan of 100 million euros, not dollars, euros. So that's probably 138 million. They probably spent. There was probably some stuff, for running the company, dealing with the dealing with those piston rods going, yeah, the con rods going in outer space from the 890 engines, because at first they're like, oh, you probably over rev the engines and you probably did this, and then they're like, oh, okay, we see the problem. One, they try to play it off. Two, three, they're like, what are you doing with the bike? And then you got 300 engines affected. You can't say, oh, it's you and not us. So they're probably dealing with the backlash from the 890 a little bit, 300 of them, and probably some design and development. And then the other thing is they own a chunk of Husqvarna, and then the Smart Pillin and the Spit Pillin. Those two models are basically also KTM's, especially with their engines. So you got the Vit Pillin and the Smart Pillin, and then you got the 401 and then the 801, and then for the Smart Pillin you got the 401 and the 801. And so some development cost is a part of that 138 million. And then the electric bikes that they spent on what they went in all in on the electric bikes, the wiring, the technology, the designs, the motors, the battery packs, you know. So are they going to get sold off? I doubt it. Are they going to go into bankruptcy? I doubt it. Will they get their bridge funding? Either another Investment company will join in, give them the funding, and get a share of the company and the companies they own, or the government might step in. But I don't think they're gonna end up in bankruptcy. But time will tell. This is Perception of Wealth, and I'll catch you on the next one.